Yeah. Oh, we're live. And we're live. That's been a catchphrase of mine, ladies and gentlemen. What a catchphrase. So, as you can probably see, I'm back again. I have been out of action for a day. And that day, I was supposed to have a beautiful person on my show. Because I already have a beautiful person on my show. Now, unfortunately, due to electronic malfunction, I've always saying to my guests, it happened before, I can't control it. I can't control my laptop. I can't control my webcam. Can't control the goddamn mic. But it's a pressure. I love it so much. I love it when my laptop breaks down because that's the byproduct of having a goddamn show. I'm so happy, right? Look at my face. I'm glowing with happiness because well, first of all, I would like to publicly apologize, and I hope, Junita, you put this portion. I'll give you the edited version to all of the guys who saw the previous flyer. I didn't cancel Junita or of any sorts. She is an amazing author, and I don't know her personally. I haven't read the book. I'm gonna read the book, but I'm just gonna say from the bottom of my heart, for all of those people who wanted to tune into the show, I apologize. Instead, this is the show. How are you guys? So, okay. So, before we go dive into the life of the guest, we want to understand, why do we talk about books? A little bit of straight face now. Well, books are interesting. Authors, I have interviewed over 40 plus authors, and the numbers are growing. I have a lot of authors on the plate now. Authors, many people tell it's your niche. It's your niche. Well, I didn't want it to be my niche. I just love to talk to authors. Most of my guests, let me say 70% of my guests are, either best-selling authors or, writing their first book, up-and-coming author, novelist, different niches. And I absolutely love it. It's because I know the idea of it, the behind it, writing an entire book, but I can't do it myself at the moment because I know it's a pain in the ass, right? I can't have an hour-long show without a fucking migraine attack. But writing a book is it's a strenuous task where we're gonna try to understand with over and over again, interviewing new guests, new authors who I guarantee you these people are gonna get be on the best-selling lists. And then maybe I will give a cross promotion. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam Margaret Thatcher, all the way from London. Please put your hands together for the ever so elegant Juanita Carr from London. Would you like some tea?
Thank you for having me. I've been really entertained by your introduction. Thank you so much. And actually, it's Juanita. Everyone mispronounces, but it's a Spanish name. It's Juanita.
Juanita. It's a Spanish
Juan.
name?
It Juan. Is. It's Juan.
Where have I heard it before? Oh, I didn't know it's a Spanish name. Junita is like an Indian name. So you get an interesting. Before we started the interview, you said you loved India as well. You visited India. How many times did you visit India? When did you visit India?
I've been coming to India for, I'd say, the last 4 to 5 years. I'm due a trip this year, but as a result of the lockdown, unfortunately, I'm still in England. But I love India for me personally. And I'm saying it on air. For me personally, Juanita Headley.
You would love to live here. You said that before.
Best country in the world, in my opinion. And I totally mean that. I love India
Can you speak Hindi?
So much.
Can you speak Hindi?
No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. It's embarrassing. Just namaste, and that's about it. I still love it. I still love it.
Namaste back to you. Look at you, you're a fancy lawyer. You said you're a pro bono lawyer. For those people who don't know what pro bono is, I'm gonna call you Junita. Juanita is just Juan. I'm just gonna call you Madam Thatcher. That's your nickname, Madam Thatcher. Would you please explain to our guests what pro bono lawyer is? My British accent.
I'm a pro bono attorney. I've been a New York attorney for 5 years. And unfortunately, as I am a British citizen, my parents are from the West Indies. They're from Jamaica, to be exact, from the West Indies.
That's the first time I've heard. Unfortunately, I'm a British citizen.
That is true, right? But the reason I say unfortunately is because I don't have a green card, a visa, or work authorization. So for the last 5 years, as a New York licensed practicing attorney, I have been fully unpaid. I am an unpaid attorney. I provide free legal advice to people in New York who are homeless, immigrants, including illegal immigrants. I provide them free consultations and including ex-convicts, people who have previously been incarcerated. Whenever I'm in New York, I give free legal advice because without a work permit or authorization, I cannot get paid. And because of my strong Christian faith and beliefs, I'm unwilling to work off the books, under the table, or illegally. So I simply work for free.
So why can't you get a green card ASAP? I mean, even if you go through the legal procedure, like, do you want to settle down in New York? And maybe you said New York attorney. Why a New York attorney and not attorney? I'm confused.
What it is, as I'm sure you may know, that with every state, the laws are indeed different. In certain parts of the US, they have the death penalty. And so I am licensed as a New York attorney and therefore can only practice New York law in New York. However, my original dream and plan was actually to be a California attorney. Having passed the New York bar, I was planning to take the California bar, but it was so difficult that I decided, you know what, I'm going to just stick to being New York licensed. And why is it I don't have a green card? It is not so straightforward or so simple to get a green card. And even with work authorization, that would require sponsorship. I would need to find an employer to sponsor me. It is very competitive and it is very expensive to be sponsored. And it is almost a lottery. It's potluck. Even if you do get sponsored, so many applicants put through the H-1B visa forms and documentation. There is no guarantee that you would get through. You may have to try over and over again. But
what about that loophole?
I've
heard that there's a loophole, like you get married and the green
I know.
card.
Yep. I knew you. I knew you. I knew you were going to say that. But unfortunately, I'm very single, not ready to mingle at all.
Hello. Hello, Madam Thrasher.
I'm a born again Christian, and so for me, because of my strong Christian beliefs, when I do get married, one day, Lord willing, I'll marry a strong Christian too. And realistically speaking, if I met a right person, a right guy with strong faith like me, I would marry him. Not for the green card, for love. And if there's a green card, great, but that's not my motivation. That's why I'm single.
How do I convert to Christianity? Come on. No.
You're funny. I'm not going to answer that question.
No, don't. People are going to hate me. No. Hey, JC, we're gonna see you on the next slide. Right now, I'm a proud Hindu and I love it. Hey, baby, you want to say hi? Come on. Yeah, there you go. Hey, hello.
I thought you were talking to your partner. When you said, hey, baby, I thought maybe your partner, your wife, your girlfriend was right next door and you were
she's my girlfriend, all right. Hey.
Very beautiful, I must say that.
Look at firm Christian belief. We want to put a hashtag before that, right?
Yes, please do. I love Jesus, very single, not ready to mingle.
I love Jesus. That's the title of my Facebook page. I love Jesus. So why do you love Jesus though? Why the strong, deep-rooted Christian belief?
I believe having traveled...
Did you grow up in a nunnery? Had the evangelistic touch as a child? Why am I using my British accent? Never use my British accent.
I know, right? No, not at all. Honestly, my mother wasn't Christian. She grew me up in church. I became a Christian around 16. I spent 7.5 years traveling around the world. I've been to 37 countries. And in those 7.5 years, I was not paid. I was fully unpaid, fully volunteer. When you've lived 7.5 years traveling the world without an income, then of course you're going to believe in a higher power, because how is it as a single female looking pretty young that I could travel around the world, be blessed by complete strangers where people open their homes, feed me, clothe me, flight ticket, hotel, you name it, just being blessed from strangers with no ulterior motive whatsoever.
Would you say that's because you have a beautiful heart instead of your Christian roots? Because wouldn't you say that good people are everywhere in every religion, and or do you think it's just a byproduct of being a Christian?
I would say it's twofold, because I've seen that there are amazing people who are atheists and don't even believe in God, and they have a lot of good fortune from me. I would say that it's twofold. Yes, I'm very generous and I serve and I give. The Bible says you reap what you sow. In certain beliefs, we call that karma. So for me, reaping and sowing, when I do good things, I am blessed by people coming into my world to bless me too. I believe you can give from what you have. And if you have very little, you can share that. Sadly, a lot of people in the world do not share what they have. They rather hold on to it than giving freely. When you've committed 7.5 years of your life to serve others, you will be blessed by meeting people who see that goodness in you and want to help. But at the same time, I am a female. I am single. I look very, very young. The Lord protected me. I lived with complete strangers. There are women and men who travel the world with money, with friends, and bad things happen to them, and they are good people too. Bad things do happen to good people, but I'm saying to you, I am convinced the God that I serve protected me, because some of the situations I may have been in could have ended up very, very differently. I'm still alive by the grace of God. I've come into contact with people who had the virus. I too could have contracted it. I may no longer have been here if things were different. And so I will say, yes, I do good things, but I will certainly point to God and say that the God that I serve in Jesus Christ is one of the reasons I do what I do. And one of the reasons I am so protected as a person who looks really young. And I'm not going to say my age, but I look really young and I'm a female. And so it is difficult when you're young looking and female and black and an ethnic minority to travel.
Welcome to God TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to God TV. You know the irony of it all. It's not Jesus, like it's not Juanita. It's actually Jesus. Jesus and Juanita.
That's true. That is true. It is Jesus and Juanita. You're correct. You're correct.
Joshua.
But
Jehovah.
He knows I mean him. Even though I'm mispronouncing his name, he knows what I mean. But in all seriousness, there are people.
Jesus be like, hey, little child. Look at your smile. I love your smile though. You have this personality. You have a personality that definitely entices a lot of people. Would you say it's hard to deal with people who are in trouble, like as you said, convicts, the other peoples that you help, migrants and all that? Do you think it's a challenge? You need to be always putting on a poker face, laughing, but the seriousness of the problem. And a life is in your hand. I mean, you mentioned the death penalty and all that. So how do you see that? How does that impact you in your life?
Well, I will say that fortunately in New York there is no death penalty. But what you've said is very true, and I do agree with that because, for example, when I'm providing free legal advice, some of my clients are intoxicated, under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Some of my clients are actually full of anger, aggression, and even one of my clients verbally assaulted me, and I was afraid for my life. The things that he said to me, I will not repeat on air, but the point is, I'm there to help him. He didn't like what I had to say because I spoke the truth to him, and then he verbally abused me to the point where I was afraid he was going to knock me out. And I should not have to put up with that, but in saying that, I'm there to help. And sometimes, because of what a person's been through, they're not willing to accept the truth because they think you're not on their team. And I totally am. When I go to New York for a week and give free legal advice, it's because I'm on that person's team. I could be vacationing anywhere else besides New York, but I choose to go there, choose to volunteer, give up my mornings on a Saturday and spend time with clients, but I don't deserve to go through that kind of thing. And even though that has happened once, even if it happened again, I would still continue to volunteer. Because at the end of the day, people come with baggage. I'm not going to judge this man. I'm simply going to try and help him as best as I can. Or if I can't help him, then there's certainly other people in the same center that I can provide support and legal advice. My dream and desire, in fact, is to build safe houses in the Philippines for victims of sex trafficking and to build bakeries around the world hiring ex-convicts. My dream is to hire ex-convicts, former prostitutes, and homeless people in bakeries.
Hold on a second. How many people do I have to kill to be a part of your vision here?
You don't need to be. You don't need to be. Honestly, I'm not just hiring ex-convicts. I'm giving them a second chance. I don't believe in the death penalty. I believe in prison. I believe in jail time. But I believe in second chances. And at the end of the day, we all make mistakes.
Hey.
Wait.
It's quite evident this is my second chance, as you know what I mean. I blew up my first chance.
That is true. Welcome. I gave you a second chance. But seriously, though, I believe that we all make mistakes, and sometimes we commit criminal offenses, maybe not knowingly, but the point is we did not get caught. A lot of us have done things that are criminal We didn't get caught. At the end of the day, I want to empower the ex-convicts, empower homeless people, empower former prostitutes. That's my dream.
You know how you know someone is a lawyer? It's when they continuously can give a speech impromptu without an interruption. So usually when there are your locations guests, like a lot of people, I usually take control of the show. It's because I need to control the pace of it. Otherwise, it's gonna go for more than an hour and all that. People don't watch that. But in your case, and I have met very few people who actually take control away from the show, and it's amazing. It's great. I'm jealous. How do you talk so eloquently? How do you talk so eloquently? How did you take any public speaking class? It was a major in your college
Not at
days.
all. I'm going to say two things. The first one, I had a 2-day training in New York. I got a full scholarship, $1,000, full scholarship for a Decker communication course, Decker. It taught me everything I need to know. It taught me how to public speak. I practiced that in my real world, in my life for a year. I then traveled to the West Indies, to Trinidad and Tobago, spoke and spoke and spoke. And then I'm going to go one step further and I'm going to say it's all because of, I can't pronounce his name, Jesus and the Holy Spirit. It's all because of Jesus, like legit. I believe I have a gift. If you saw me 6 years ago, I was a very different person.
So what do you think of the? I already got the strict, Christian belief. So what do you think of the devil?
What do you mean? What do I think of him? I mean, that's a very broad question.
Yeah, well, like, is he the anti everything you believe in? Do you think devil is something, a real entity? And if you see a devil, you're gonna punch him in the face. You're gonna, hey, you're under arrest, legal justice.
Well, I'm a lawyer, so that would be battery and assault. So I wouldn't punch him in the face. But what I would say, if I was confronted with the devil, I would take a leaf out of the Bible and I would use scriptures. When Jesus was tempted, when he was fasting for 40 days and he was in the wilderness, he quoted, "It is written, it is written." So if I came up against any devil, and sometimes when we meet people, they behave like the devil, I would use scripture, "It is written, it is written." I would not use my fists and I would not use brute force. And I would not even use brutality in the words I use, because that could be considered a threat. It could be deemed assault, battery. It could be deemed that I am trying to entice that person or intimidate them. Or in other words, I don't want to commit any criminal offenses when I am defending myself when confronted with the devil, right? Because at the end of the day, I want to defend. I'm a lawyer. That's what we do. I don't intend to commit any criminal offenses in the meantime. So that's important to point out.
You know what just happened right now?
Not at all.
So when we were talking about the devil, I swear to Lord Almighty, my microphone and my camera just got turned off.
I'm not surprised.
Oh.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I was just picking up the glasses and it just messed with the wires and oh my god, it's a sign.
It is. It is, legitimately. I mean, at the end of the day, we can call it a coincidence, but when people have light, that light shines into the darkness, and Satan is the kingdom of darkness. And when I speak light, the devil won't like it. And he will attack and he'll persecute, he'll make the internet not work, he'll make your microphone cut off, whatever he needs to do to stop the message of light getting out there.
You are online. People heard you, all right. So tell me again, in short, in a sentence, do you believe in, do you think he's real?
I believe that Satan is an entity, but I believe it's a spiritual entity, which is why some people behave in a way that we might consider demonic, or we might say they're demon possessed. How so? I believe it's spiritual. Just like how people can sort of read palms. Not that I believe in palm reading, but it's like that connection to the spirit realm. Or when people believe they see ghosts and all. I don't believe in seeing ghosts, but it's that connection to the spirit realm.
You visit India, a lot of the traditional. The traditional Indian philosophy, it talks about Hinduism, which is a very, it's an East-centric religion. Like, as Hinduism, it goes against the Jehovah's Witness sort of thing. Where a lot of people consider us paganistic. What do you want to say to that?
I will say that for me, it's not my place to sort of judge one religion or another. But what I can say is that with my faith and my belief in Jesus, Jesus and God, is that God is open to receive all of us, and he takes us as we are. The Bible says that God came for all. It says that Jesus died for everybody. That means God takes everybody, even somebody who we believe may be demon possessed, right? At the end of the day, I believe that the God that I serve, he wants everybody to come to him. He died for all of us so that we can have life and life more abundantly. At the end of the day, you have to consider, what is your belief? What does your belief say to you? My belief says that I have life with Christ right here, right now. He lives and dwells within me. And I also have life with him when I pass away, when I die. And so at the end of the day, for me, I'm not going to speak ill of any religion, because the Lord wants us to respect others. When Jesus was on this earth, he spent time with tax collectors, with prostitutes. He met people where they're at. If I want to minister, speaking ill about somebody's belief is not the way to do that. Instead, I would talk about my belief, what I believe, and encourage them to consider reading the Bible or praying.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Can you talk about your book? Just having an emergency call, if I have to take it. You talk about your book. I'm going to wait. Let me share the screen so that the people could have a look at your website, and maybe you could talk about your book, and whatever you want. You take over the show for just a minute. I'm going to be back.
Sure.
Again, I apologize. Okay.
Certainly. My book is called Can You Keep a Secret? And this talks about my own personal story of being a victim of sexual abuse by my mother's first husband from the age of 4 to 10. Now, when I asked my grandfather and my aunt, can you keep a secret? They said it depends. Now, as a result of my grandfather and aunt saying it depends, I did not disclose to them what I was going through. Instead, I kept my secret. And as a result of that, I was a victim of attempted rape for 6 years of my life. Now, what people don't understand, when a child is being abused, it's very hard for them to be open and to disclose what they're going through. It is very difficult because when you're a young child, you don't often have the words to be able to vocalize the experience you have. When I was abused as a child, it began with grooming. My stepfather was tickling me, and then his hands slipped. I will say that I did disclose to my mother when I was 4 years of age what had happened. My mother, by her own admission, she said to myself and my stepfather, don't let it happen again. I believe now, as an adult looking back on it, I believe that is the reason why I did not tell her anything. Because when she said to me, don't let it happen again, when it did happen again, I believe I placed that responsibility upon myself. Now, my desire is to educate and empower people on the topics of abuse and disclosures, and to get them to know how to respond appropriately. Now, imagine if a person came up to you, a child, a young person, and asked you, can you keep a secret? Now, when they ask you that question, they're trying to tell you something. For example, can you keep a secret? When you say no or it depends, that child will not disclose to you what they're going through. Let's try that again. Let's restart that question. Can you keep a secret? When you say yes with your mouth, that child may disclose to you. For example, I'm being sexually abused by my stepfather. Now, when you've heard that disclosure, you need to say something along the lines of, I have to break your trust, and then you phone the authorities. Do not phone the accused. For example, I heard you've been sexually abusing your stepdaughter, Juanita. You do not do that. When anybody comes up to you and asks the question, can you keep a secret? Say yes with your mouth. It depends with your head. When they've disclosed that secret of abuse, you tell them, I have to break your trust, and you phone the authorities immediately. That is really, really, really important. At the end of the day, there are many victims and survivors around the world of abuse who have not disclosed and will not disclose when you say it depends or no to the question, can you keep a secret? And this is my book, Can You Keep a Secret? It is available to purchase through my website, which is changingcases.org. The website you just saw is actually my baking website. I have two websites, changingcases.com, which you can see on the screen. This is my baking website. And then changingcases.org, that one is with regards to the work I've been doing around the world for 7.5 years.
So I was not around. I apologize. Could you give me a brief summary of the book? What it's all about? Yeah, and it's
Sure.
in a sentence.
Sure.
Hey.
My book is called Can You Keep a Secret? And
I know that, yeah.
It discusses disclosures of abuse, as I was the unfortunate victim of sexual abuse as a child. I asked the question, can you keep a secret? I got it depends. And so I kept my secret for many, many years. And so the book is called Can You Keep a Secret? To educate people to respond yes
So
to
wait,
that question.
you've been a victim of sexual assault of any sorts?
Sexual abuse from my stepfather from the ages of 4 to 10.
Jesus, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't, cuss the Lord, but Jesus Christ, it's more painful. I mean, we talk about it as in, yeah, it's painful and all that, but people who have already gone through it, I can't imagine what you have been going through. But would you like to say something about that?
What I will say is that the abuse began with tickling, and then it progressed on to attempted rape when I was sexually abused during my sleep. As a result of being abused,
Oh,
I have insomnia, even as an adult. I used to have low
oof.
self esteem. I used to be insecure. I used to be uncomfortable with my body when I'm alone, uncomfortable with nudity. I used to have few friends. I used to have anger issues. I used to get fired from my jobs. In other words, when you've been abused as a child, it's an adverse childhood experience, an ACE, and that trauma can make you a dysfunctional human being. So even though I've done a lot of good, there are certain dysfunctions within me, even as an adult. I talk a lot because I'm disguising and hiding what really went on previously in my past. So when I talk a lot and come across very bubbly, it's to hide all of the insecurities that I've had as a child.
Juanita, I'm so sorry to hear that from the bottom of my heart. And I want to say, uh, you're a strong, independent, beautiful, so strong woman, and as you said, Jesus love you, he loves you. I know when I look at you, there is the beautiful glow coming out. And I'm not saying it because you're my guest. I'm just saying it in general. You look at you, you're so happy with the baking stuff. I mean, I just looked at the picture and you're so, this is you. Am I correct?
Yes, it's me. I was
It's
fundraising because I went to
Yeah.
Japan after the tsunami. And so I fundraised and spent time doing tsunami relief work. I was there after the tsunami in Japan as a volunteer. I have a heart for serving the poor and serving the most vulnerable. I've been doing that for years.
So yeah, I mean, I'm hosting an angel, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Literal
That's
angel.
kind.
You are.
And I've done a lot of work in India, completely unpaid, visiting the women in the red light district, volunteering orphanages and shelters, meeting some of the trafficked women. So when I come to India, I donate food. I don't donate money because money requires accountability, but I feed the people and I provide for them whatever their needs are. I have a love
Well,
and a heart for serving, and
I
I've done a
feel
lot
like
of great work in India.
I feel like I'm hosting Mother Teresa.
The West Indian
Hello,
version.
the West Indian version. I love it so much. I love it so much. No, seriously, with the one that what I've been trying to get it off my chest, but there's a dog just near my locality. Just want to highlight how hard it is trying to help others. There's a dog near my house. I have a dog, so I'm a dog lover. I see the dog, and it was so brutally hurt. It wasn't even bleeding, but the injury, um, it was melting. The flesh was melting. It's a bad sight. But he's roaming around like that, and it feels so bad. And I always, whenever I look at him, I'm not grossed out. I just wanted to help him somehow. Uh, uh, Somehow I wanted to help him, but I don't have a vet anything, so I wanted a veterinarian doctor just to help me out. And I know the frustration of not helping someone when you especially see someone who is, uh, you know, in need. It's really painful. So I know what you get. So what about altruism? Really, gets you interested in it. What about altruism? Do you think it puts a smile on your face?
For me, especially when I was in India, I would certainly say that even when I was in Calcutta, I spent 5 months in India around 4 years ago, and it was my first time ever. And I remember when I was in Calcutta and I saw a little boy on the train because I traveled sleeper train. Remember, 7.5 years unpaid, right? Sleeper train with local people. I want to immerse the Indian culture as best as I can. And a little boy had on a trash bag over him. He'd made a hole for his head and he was collecting plastic bottles. And he was so engrossed in what he was doing, he didn't even notice that I was there, me, the foreigner. even though I'm wearing Indian clothing, I clearly don't look Indian. And when I left and got off the train, I cried a couple tears because I was so moved by what he did. And then when I was in Calcutta, I saw a man and he was skeletal and he was sitting on the street. He didn't ask for anything. He was just sitting there. And I've never seen such poverty, especially in certain parts of Calcutta. I've never seen that before in my life. And when I saw him and you can see his skeleton, I asked him if he wanted some food. Now, he doesn't speak English, but I use sign language. And I went and bought him chat. And what was so amazing, I bought him ice cream. Then I bought him juice. I just kept coming back with food because my heart went out to him. And what was so beautiful when I was feeding him the chat, he only bought maybe 4. And I was just waiting for him to like buy 10 or something. And I just love the fact that he was very humble and that he wasn't trying to exploit me, because there are some people who might be like thinking in their head, this foreigner's rich, let me take 20 chat, some for tomorrow.
Hold on a second. Like is this I'm sorry. I love the Angela. Is this your curly hair?
Yes, this is my hair in transition, because I thought you might cancel on me today. So I just kept my hair tied up. I'm sorry. I'm too honest, but I'm good.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm officially in love.
You're so funny. If you were Christian, legitimately, if you were Christian and we both prayed about it and the Lord said, marry you, I would, because I want to marry an Indian. That's a secret, right? But I do. I love India. I want to marry an Indian. But don't get the wrong idea, right? Don't get the wrong idea.
No.
I am so in love with India.
I'm Indian. That checks off.
It does. Christian. It does.
Oh. Damn it, man! Why do you do this? Why do you do this?
But really, though, if you're a strong Christian and we both prayed separately, I don't mean, oh, you're Christian, I'm Christian, let's get married. If we both prayed and the Lord spoke to us separately, then of course I'd marry you, because the Lord has told me directly. I don't mean a prophecy. I mean the Lord talking to me directly. But unfortunately, you're not Christian. So
the way no, it's okay. It's okay. The way you say it, it already touched my heart. Thank you very much.
But I'm serious. I love India. I love anyone who knows me. India and
I love you. And I love you. And your Korean.
That is funny. Is this live?
It is live. Apparently, I have a problem with female guests and flirting, but whatever. So this is your Facebook page, and it's just. Can you see it? Is it on screen?
I can't see it
wait.
at the moment.
Yeah, there you go. So this is your Facebook page. Oh my God! Look at you.
That
and
was
what's
the day
this?
we're supposed to meet, and you canceled.
Who's this?
That's this? Interview. Her name is Caroline. She interviewed me in Ghana via Zoom.
Okay, so chasing. Oh my God! Look at this. You're looking so cute. And this is you. I love the hair.
No, that's not me. That's my host, Caroline. She interviewed me on her program.
This is you. Oh my God! You look at your hair. Look at your hair.
I know, different faces, right? Different faces.
I love your hair, man. I really love your hair.
I'm sorry. I thought you might cancel, so forgive me.
Yeah, you thought I was an a-hole.
No, I'm Christian. I would never think that. Second chances, remember, second chances.
Hey, you know what? Maybe not this life, maybe next lifetime. Maybe, I'm gonna be born Christian. You're gonna be born Christian. We both are gonna have a prophecy. Hey.
I like that. That's funny. But remember, no prophecies. It's got to be direct from God, right? Prophecies can get into trouble.
Yeah, we're gonna meet in heaven. I'm gonna get a direct email from the Hindu heaven. I'm gonna say, hey, I got a girlfriend over there in Christian heaven. Can you send me there? Yeah, go visit her. Hey, God damn it. I'm gonna meet and we're gonna say, hey, what's up, Jesus? And say, hey, what's up, son? And like, yeah, it didn't make me Christian. Yeah, son, it's okay. Look at that girl. Great, she's Christian as fuck. Okay, you guys can get married. Go.
That's funny. But you mispronounced his name. It's Jesus, remember. Not Jesus, Jesus.
By the power vested in me by Lord Almighty, I now pronounce you guest and guestie.
Yeah.
Nice. Interview.
You were scaring me. You scared me there. I was like, whoa.
No, I'm not a minister. I can't pronounce us. Husband, I can't do that. I'm not a goddamn minister.
Thank God. So I was a bit scared.
Do you read the Bible every day?
I do, morning and night, and I pray daily.
So would you say right now, when you publish your book, you're sort of competing against the greatest book, one of the greatest book that has ever written. Like, hey, yeah, what's up, Jesus? Can you just go a shelf over? I want to sell my book, maybe.
Not at all. His book is first and foremost paramount, the most important, the guideline of how we should live. And mine is like second, third, fourth, fifth on the list or something. Mine is not top priority. And mine talks about trafficking and abuse. So
it's another thing. Yeah, even I'm a Hindu, so even I do love to read Gita, but I don't. I think sometimes it skips my mind the Holy Scriptures, whoever it is. I think certain people are very lucky to be invested in their own religion. I say if you're Hindu, read the Bhagavad Gita. If you're a Christian, read the Bible. As a matter of fact, I suggest everyone to read each other's scripture as well, because you would see a lot of gaps are filled up. God is, I think, he or she is something else. It's something that we cannot comprehend. So, be it whatever it is, I think as human beings, you helping each other out, even in the name of a beautiful, hot dude with long hair and beard. And I want to say though, whenever I see I remember when I was in Chennai, I was in Chennai. I was a kid, so I was a kid. It was Christian Medical College, Vellore. So I went there with my family, and there was a church there. I remember the time when I went there, and I saw the photo, the statue. I went back home with the hotel that night. I cried, and that was the innocence of a child, because I looked at the pain of the crucifixion. I felt it almost. I almost felt it, and that's the innocent of a child. He doesn't see what's Christianity, what's Hinduism, what's Islam. He just sees the concept of a religion, takes a version of it, the snippets of it, and he creates his own story, man. For me, Jesus was a good-looking dude. Like I would love to hug him. I would love to say, "Hey, what's up, Jesus?" I would like to hang out with him sometime.
Yes, me too. I look forward to the day. But right now, I'm here on Earth, and I want to do as much as I can. We don't know how long we have on Earth, so my desire is just to make as much of a positive impact as I can whilst I'm still here.
I want to say though, I would be lying if I don't say it. I don't want to come off like. Sometimes I'm also as interested as I am in Jesus, as interested as in Lucifer as well. It's because the story from an outsider's perspective, from not being a part of the evangelistic stuff. And I believe that Lucifer as well, the angel, not the sort of Dante's Inferno, cold blooded, sometimes his story also, it's like a mythology. So I always am inspired by it as well. Dr. Faustus, I read Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe, and that also has the concept of the devil in it, the occult, and it makes you think about it a little bit. But of course, I'm into theology. I love taking concepts from every religion and love to create my own piece together. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I understand that people have strong beliefs. People might say that Hinduism is a paganistic religion. A lot of people, I see YouTube videos so offensive towards us. They say, Lord Jesus is the only Lord, but our gods are paganistic. They're Satan. They embody Satan. Lord Shiva is Satanistic. Lord Krishna is a goddamn god of love. How can, like you saying Cupid is Satan? No, the thing is, there are certain Christians like that as well, certain Muslims like that as well, but not. Most of the religions are inclusive, just like my religion as well. It's very inclusive. A lot of people look up to other people, believing their religion as well. And having said that, I have tremendous respect for whatever you're doing, and I have tremendous respect for the fact that you love your God, because a lot of people don't even appreciate the fact that they're belong to a certain religion. They say, it's one thing to say I want to, like, I if I say I love India, which is true because I was born and raised here. I love my country. I would die for my country. But it's another thing to say that I also love America, because, and hence all of these beautiful scriptures, because America to me is not just a country that I just want to live in. No, I don't want to live in America. I want to visit America. I want to have a good time. I love the culture, the pop culture. I think it's a deeply embedded in my life. It's like saying that. So similarly, you say you love India. The same thing. You could look into other people's religion and respect it. You need to have that mutual respect. And I say I have mutual respect, and I hope that you have the same thing for me as well.
That's what Jesus did when he was on earth. He loved those who were unlovable. In other words, those who were judged, those who were the marginalized, the poor, the needy, the prostitute, the tax collectors. Jesus wants us to love one another. At the end of the day, it's about truth, but there's a way of delivering truth. So if I feel someone is making a decision that is harmful to them, I can certainly help them in a loving fashion. The Bible says that we need to take the plank from our own eye before taking a speck from our brother. No matter what a person is doing or engaging in, whatever that thing may be, before we come and tell them, I don't think you should go there, I don't think you should do that, we need to first look at ourselves and make sure we're in the right place with God. Because if I feel you're making a choice that is destructive to you, there's a way of me communicating it without being judgmental. At the end of the day, I have your best interests at heart. So there's a way of doing it with love. That's what the Lord is about.
When did you finish? When did you finish the book? Writing the book?
I wrote it in about a month, and it was around, I'd say, 2 August ago. So not last August, but the year before. It took about a month to write, but it took a very, very long time to get to print.
And how many copies did you sell?
So far, just over 200 copies. I printed my last 120 copies in Chennai, India.
Okay, 200 copies is a good number. So how do you market your book, though?
For me, I've had the grace of God open up doors for me to speak on TV and radio around the world. And so I use those formats to be able to promote my message. I've had the chance to speak even here in the UK, which has been amazing. And so for me, enabling people to get to hear who I am, my story, and communicating to them as I'm doing now, then they have an idea as to what the book contains. And I also have a book trailer. I have a 2-minute book trailer, and I also have a song that goes with the book. And so I'm using these.
And did you make all of that yourself? Did you make all of that, the trailer, the marketing campaigns, media buying? Did you take care of it all by yourself, or do you have a team to take care of it?
Everything by myself. And despite the fact that there was no money in the bank, I have a beautiful book trailer. I have a beautiful song, and I paid absolutely nothing. It was complete strangers, true story, complete strangers who got together at a church, and we shot an entire book trailer at a church. And we went on the street and we shot this in Ghana, in Africa. And I'm telling you, it was a miracle. We had nothing at all, no props, no tools, no resources. And if you see the trailer, you would have no idea. We shot it with one camera and with a tiny little microphone and a small little light, because we didn't even have camera lights. We had one camera, little light, and microphone. Absolutely. Please do. It's a beautiful trailer.
So, over here in Team English, we're like 4 or 5 people in the team. And because we have been interviewing about like 40, 50 authors a month. I mean, I started this out as a quarantine hobby, and now I'm down a lot of authors. I know what's in, like, how strenuous it is, how painful it is to look for people who trust your book, trust your ideas, and promote you. And I think podcasting is the new thing. Shows like this is a new thing, how to get in touch with new people, especially when it comes to getting your book out. But I think it's really tough to really to choose the podcast that you want to be in. So here in English.com, we're trying to work on our YouTube and our website as well. So we're trying to come up with a paid membership sort of that's going to create a beautiful sales funnel for you guys. So it's going to be like a web page, and it's going to be like a LinkedIn profile, but exclusively for authors. But it's just the thought went into it when I started to interview authors like regularly, such as yourself. Everybody has the same flair. Everybody's hungry, but they're always beaten up with the marketing. So I thought, hey, I can do that. So at the moment, we are designing the website. It's going to be very beautiful. There's going to be a banner next to, you're going to have a picture. Then you're going to be the shorter version of our interview and other interviews like this. Shorter versions that talks about you, what makes your book interesting, a book summary. And we're just, it's in the rudimentary stage. We're doing the A/B testing right now. Let's see how it works. Fingers crossed. I would love to have authors like you signing up for the website in itself, just to make it look beautiful.
Certainly, and thank you for the offer.
So can you say the struggle of writing a book in itself is so painful because when you start writing a book, it's intangible. You don't know if it's going to work out or not. You don't know the hard work's going to pay off or not. Uh, it's very painful. I've heard people like locking themselves in a room, staring at the ceiling, and just thinking of ideas. Did you have any writer's block? How did you deal with it? How did you write an entire book in a month?
I would say that by the grace of God, I did not have writer's block, but from when I was a child, I wrote a book called From Strength to Strength. And that's more of a testimony type book, sharing about positive things in my life. I used to write a lot of stories and poems as a child, but then I did develop writer's block. With this book, Can You Keep a Secret? It actually came out of one of my interviews. I had a television interview in the West Indies, in Trinidad and Tobago. And during that interview, I was on a panel. And one of the panelists said, Juanita, will you explain, can you tell a secret? And I said, no, it's can you keep a secret? And when he brought me home that night after the interview, I decided I'd like to write a book. It went from there. I shared a lot of my own personal stories in the book. And just the way I communicate with you, the book is written very conversationally. I will tell you, it was a lot of fun writing the book. I didn't intend to finish it in a month. All that happened, I knew a girl who had actually written a book, a young lady. Her book is about her personal story. And so she shares in 65 pages how she had had some struggles and had come out successful at the end and got her dream career. Having spoken to her, my desire was to simply write 65 pages. She told me she'd written 65 pages in 3 months.
It's a small book. It's a small book, and
Very small.
it's a quick read. It's a quick read.
It was. And so I was inspired by that. And I said, you know what, let me write 65 pages. And I was able to write 65 pages in 2 weeks. My book is just under 400 pages, but I will say I would just come home from
I thought you were talking about your book. Oh.
No. The 65-page book is the person who inspired me. So this young lady who wrote her testimony, it was 65 pages. That inspired me. I did that in 2 weeks. I wrote 65 pages. My book is about 380, so close to 400 pages. And I would just come home from a speaking engagement and I would write and write and write because I'm a public speaker. I speak around the world. Schools, community centers, to the police, the army, I speak anywhere. So when I would speak, I'd come home in Trinidad and then I would write and I enjoyed it. I didn't sort of have any timeline. My desire was to write 65 pages in less than 3 months. And I accomplished that and more.
I love that smile. Just hold that smile. Peekaboo.
No, I lost it.
I just wanted to do peekaboo with you. I don't know. You're allowed to have a baby smile. Peekaboo. I just wanted to do peekaboo with you. But unfortunately, we're always, almost close to the hour mark. So we're going to have to close the show up. But ladies and gentlemen, I would be making sure that you get a copy of the link and you could buy her book because she's amazing. She's beautiful. She is amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus will look into the interview and say, good job, kid.
He will.
Thank you.
Would like to.
Thank you. It's a bummer that we were this close to tie that knot.
So close, but so far. But I want to point out one thing, though, because I do have another website, which would be more appropriate for anyone who wants to find out about the work I do. It's changingcases.org. Changingcases.org. It shows the work I've been doing in India and the Philippines, my speaking engagement. So changingcases.org. And also what I would like to point out is I do speak on this topic. I spoke at a university, Shaloni University in Chandigarh, and I do speak around the world. I travel to India every year. And so if there is an opportunity...
Next time, hey, promise me if you come to Northeast, if you come to you're going to come to Agartala, and when you come to Agartala, you're going to give me a ping.
Oh, I'll think about it. Right.
Oh, come on. If you know you're not going to marry me, just meet me for Christ's sake.
No, because you might have a chapel and stuff and a guy ready to marry us. So I'm a bit concerned. But in all seriousness, though, I do speak anywhere in the world. So if people know places I can speak, I do come to India usually every year. I'm usually in India around this time. I speak everywhere. I print my books in Chennai. And when I do print my books in India, it's only around 500 rupees for a copy. So please reach out. I speak for free, but I take donations. And I want to point out, every copy of my book, 60% of profits will be used for building safe houses in the Philippines for women and girls who have been sex trafficked. So every book sold, 60% of the profits goes to charity. And I also intend to build safe houses also in India. So please, please do reach out to me. My Facebook, it's Changing Cases. My website, changingcases.org. That's changing, CASES.org. My Facebook, Changing Cases. And again, I speak anywhere in the world via Zoom, in person, free of charge, but I take donations to continue this good work.
Unfortunately, we gotta have to say goodbye to that pretty, beautiful soul and beautiful face and that beautiful smile. And goddamn that hair! I want that hair. But I just want to say it's about an hour and it's good. It's been a great interview. I'm really glad that we got to do this. Thank you, God. Thank you very much. You screwed it up in the first time, you and I both, but this time we got an interview with your child. So I would just want to say, I'm sad. I'm sad, man. I was this close to be in love, to be happy. But whatever, man. Whatever. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, Juanita, Junita, you've been an angel, and I would love to have you in my life. No, in my show again, and we're gonna have a great time again when you become a big shot author and you get that lawyer salary, if you know what I'm talking about. That lawyer salary. I'm talking about party. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say goodbye to beautiful Juanita.
Bye. Thank you so much for having me. I've really appreciated the opportunity.
What did you say? I love you?
Thank you for having me. I really appreciated the opportunity. I love Jesus. I love Jesus. I just want to be clear. Jesus. Single. And
everybody loves you, and I'm sure Jesus loves you. Oh,
he does.
Crap.
I'm his favorite.
But I might think Jesus is kind of taken. Like,
I'm his favorite.
Jesus was friend zoned the shit out of me. That's he loves everybody else, but he would friend zone me. No, child, you're just a friend.
Jesus loves me, and I'm his favorite. Don't be jealous. I am Jesus' favorite. Just saying.
I'm sure you
Don't
are.
Be jealous. Don't be jealous. Just saying.
I'm not. I got a million gods and goddesses looking over me.
You've got a million. That's right.
And I love them all. Ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye. We're going to see that pretty face again on the recorded version.